As British Prime Minister Keir Starmer looks to implement a digital ID card system in the UK, he's hailed India's Aadhaar system as a massive success. And during his recent visit to Mumbai, Starmer held a meeting with the co-founder of the Indian tech group that helped deliver the ID database more than a decade ago. But the system has been met with some criticism. For more on this, I'm joined by Commodore Chitrapu Uday Bhaskar, Director of Society for Policy Studies in New Delhi. It's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Aadhaar is now part of India's fabric. How crucial is the identity document for citizens and their access to important services inside of India?
If I can use one word, I would say that the Aadhaar card, as it is known, is very critical, very important in India for the citizen in terms of a series of transactions in one's daily life. As you said, it was introduced about a decade ago, and this was done by Nandan Nilekani, a very highly respected Indian IT mogul, part of the Infosys company. And what Aadhaar has done is that it has given a 12-digit identification for every Indian citizen and allowed the digitization of a number of services. So today in India, for instance, financial transactions, even very modest levels of financial transactions can be completed using Aadhaar in a very limited time span. So to that extent, it has made digitization a very visible kind of phenomenon in India. But yes, there are some concerns because it is driven by biometrics and the fact that personal data could be misused is one of the concerns about the Aadhaar card. But I repeat the one word, it is very, very important for the citizen in India, the Aadhaar card.
So we've spoken about the importance of it to the citizens in India. Now the UK government is actually hoping to bring in digital ID cards, but there's been fierce backlash, including warnings of expanding state power and also concerns that it might not control immigration like they hope it could. Do you think these concerns are warranted, or has India managed to figure out the system and improve it?
You know, I would say that these concerns have been voiced in India also. It's not as if the Aadhaar is a silver bullet and that it can be used both for the citizen and in terms of its security relevance, which is particularly to track illegal immigrants and all the criminal activities associated with illegal immigration. And in the Indian case, there has been a lot of anxiety about terrorism. So these are some of the other strands associated with Aadhaar. But my sense is that the backlash, the word that you used in UK, is not misplaced because Aadhaar is a tool. It is a tool of surveillance, and much depends on the integrity with which the state decides to use this kind of a capability. This is also driven by technology. There is an increasing amount of digitization, and if this in turn is linked with AI, there are many possibilities for the state to misuse this kind of a tool. So I would say in summary that the concerns in UK are not misplaced, but I hope there would be a constructive debate to regulate the state and its ability to use technological options such as the Aadhaar, which I gather would become the Brit card if it is introduced in UK.
Yes, I haven't actually seen a possible name for it, but the Brit card could be one. So, good idea. The UK Prime Minister did meet with the co-founder of the Indian tech group who helped deliver the ID card database we're just talking about. What do you make of this possible partnership between the UK and India? How do they work as partners when it comes to technology and the advancement of tech, as you just mentioned?
I think this is a very good opening, in terms of the potential, because the United Kingdom, UK, has a certain pedigree and very rich experience in terms of technology and innovation historically. And India and the UK have a legacy relationship. And the visit of Prime Minister Keir Starmer to Mumbai in particular, what was earlier known as Bombay, has been very important, I think, in laying certain tracks for cooperation, and technology is one of them. And if the Aadhaar is taken to Britain and they are able to improvise and adapt it for use there, I think it would open avenues for further India-UK cooperation in digitization per se. And if this is positive in terms of the UK experience, particularly to deal with illegal immigration, it may have a relevance for the European Union, because this is a very major concern there. But these, as I said, are potentialities that need to be worked through. And if India and the United Kingdom lay a very strong foundation, because language is a very important component for any kind of technological cooperation, and English is going to be a very useful component of this kind of cooperation, and India's proven skills in software. So I think, again, there is a complementarity, and one hopes that the British Prime Minister's visit would open avenues for further technological cooperation. And this is also complemented by India's investment in UK now. It's going to bring money and jobs. I think there are about 10,000 jobs that are being spoken about. So it's looking like a potentially win-win situation.
And Commodore, we are seeing an increasing amount of cyber attacks and online fraud. It's becoming more and more common. Is there a concern when it comes to digital IDs and the Aadhaar, as you mentioned? Is it a concern that important information could actually end up in the hands of hackers and could be sold on? Because this is a massive concern that a lot of people do have.
As a security analyst, I would say that there is a very strong probability that information as stored in the Aadhaar could fall into the wrong hands. And this has happened. There have been breaches and personal data has been brought into the black web. There have been reports of personal data derived from Aadhaar being sold and so on. So I think this is a very, very important area, again, perhaps for collaboration, cooperation between countries such as India and the UK, which need to evolve protocols. And I think this is actually inevitable when we talk about technology. If there is a technology that would provide a certain amount of benefit and it is data-based, you will always find criminal elements who would try to find loopholes and misuse. To the extent that data is the new oil, as is often said, I think the hackers, the criminals, and those who are trying to challenge the state and its regulatory mechanisms would always find a way. So I think this is a bit of a cat and mouse, and the state has to be alert. But at the same time, state integrity should be beyond reproach. And that is going to be the challenge for democracies, that they will not misuse the powers that technology will allow them to acquire in terms of surveillance and the citizen.
I have never heard data is the new oil, but I will not forget that you told me that. Thank you so much. I've never heard that before. I do like it. So data is the new oil. Fascinating conversation with you, Commodore Chitrapu Uday Bhaskar. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Pleasure.